And welcome in. It is February 12th, Sunday, 2017. And this is Real Deal Sports Talk with me, KP. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Thanks for joining me. It is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be awake. It's a beautiful day to be able to talk sports. I thank you for listening in each and every Sunday as we do our shows weekly here at Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. Now, a week ago, we talked about Super Bowl predictions. We talked about how that game was going to go down. We talked about the current Hall of Fame class. And now, a week later, we've all had time to reflect. We've had time to sit back, digest what we saw, formulate opinions, listen to the different talk shows out there, see what's going on, see what's being said, and, kind of mellow out a little bit when it comes down to what happened with the Super Bowl and Super Bowl 51. Shortly after the game, I instantly put out the tweet. I put it out on the Facebook page. Best game ever. Best Super Bowl ever. I was excited at the end of that game. As everybody knows, I did not have a dog in the show, so it was easy for me to sit back and enjoy what both teams were doing. My Super Bowl party was very successful, I have to say. Everybody enjoyed themselves. I hope you guys all enjoyed yourselves, had a safe, wonderful Super Bowl 51. It is a great holiday that we get to celebrate every year, of course. But my emotions right after the game led me to believe and led me to say and put out there, greatest game ever. A week later, I don't know. I think sometimes the emotions can get the best of us. Especially with sports, especially in the moment, whether you're watching or participating, there's just something special about how it can overtake you. And I believe it overtook me a little bit. I going back, looking at some of the game, rewatching the fourth quarter, it didn't have the same excitement for me as, say, the game that won the fan poll last week, the Super Bowl between the Cardinals and the Steelers. That had so many big plays, and it was so back and forth. And this game, the 25-point lead and the comeback between the end of the third and the fourth quarter, exciting, yes, but it just wasn't the same. Maybe because the Patriots have been there and done it so many times. There's so many records that took place in this Super Bowl. Maybe that's part of why it doesn't seem as special or as exciting a week later, because there was just so much involved with the 7th Super Bowl appearance for Brady, with the 5th Super Bowl win for Brady and Belichick, the 14 catches by James White, the 20 points by James White, the 63 pass attempts, the 90-something odd plays, the 55 minutes of ball time, the not having a lead at all in the game and coming out with the victory. Not having 1 second of a lead, but winning the game. And, the list goes on. Completions, attempts, plays, appearances by a coach with a quarterback, the quarterback's appearances, tying the number of Super Bowls won with Charles Haley. The list is remarkable. They're out there. We've shared them on the Facebook page. If you want to go and look at all of the records that were achieved in this appearance, in this game, check it out. The 25-point comeback. And the funny part about that, I don't know how your guys' parties went, or if you were at the game, or how you got to experience this. But people at my house, they kept saying, it's still the Patriots. You never know, it's still the Patriots. And you got to give something to that. Yes, it still is the Patriots. There still was a lot of time left on the clock. But I'm telling you, when the Falcons scored early in the third quarter to go up 28-3, I said, this is going to be real hard at this point. They're going to have to really just take their foot off the pedal, play conservative, and get in a funk for the Patriots to have a chance. And that's what I was telling everybody. And they're like, nah, it's the Patriots. They still have a chance. You never know. And everybody at my house, they were rooting for the Falcons. And you guys know I picked the Patriots. I picked them on a prop bet. I picked them just because I wanted to have Roger Goodell have to hand them the trophy. And we all saw how disastrous that went. But I took the Patriots. And I was of the opinion that it was going to be real hard for anything to happen after that deficit went up, like I said, 28-3. Patriots come down, they drive, they score, things start moving a little bit, and all of a sudden you start seeing the Falcons go away from the running game. Coleman gets hurt. He's down and out. Okay? That changed everything. I don't know why they went away from the running game so early in the third quarter. It's almost like they outthought it. Like they knew they needed to just run up points because it is New England. And in doing so, they got away from what was so successful in the first half. And Freeman was gashing them in the first half. I think Freeman averaged something like 8.3 yards per touch in the first half. And they didn't really utilize him very much in the second half at all. And then, like I said, Coleman went down. The tight ends really weren't involved in the game plan, which surprised me because they go 3 deep at tight end there in Atlanta. And everybody wants to point to Kyle Shanahan and what happened there at the end and why didn't he kick the field goal, run it a couple times, take a couple knees, make it 11 points, pretty much insurmountable at that point with only two or 3 minutes left in the game. I get that. But at the same time, they're on that side going, it's the Patriots. We have to score touchdowns. I said this last week. I have preached this. If you're going to beat the Patriots, you can't kick field goals. You have to be in the mindset of we're going to score touchdowns. Matt Ryan took a bad sack. That sack shouldn't have happened. But at the same time, who missed the block on that play that made it viable? Freeman did. He completely missed his block on that assignment. So it's not just Matt Ryan took a bad sack. A couple things went wrong on that play. Maybe it wasn't the best play calling. Maybe everybody wants to go in hindsight, you should have, we could have, this could have been. That's not how it works in an NFL game. As you're playing a game, as you're making your play calls in any athletic level of football, you're not going, okay, in hindsight, when I look back on this play, am I going to be happy with the play call? You go, this is what I think is going to work right now based on what we just did and based on the momentum and the flow of the game. I had no problem with the play calling, really. I see what they were trying to do. I understand what they wanted to do. It didn't work. The Patriots never had that defeated feeling. They never lost, okay, we're just going to come out and play this play. Let's play this play. And eventually they got them through. They got them through the 25-point lead. The Falcons' defensive line fell off. They were on the field way too long. Almost 55 minutes. The Falcons' defense was on the field. In a Super Bowl. That's unbelievable. So they got tired. I don't care how many guys you got on your defensive line rotation. You're going to be tired after playing that long. After playing almost 100 snaps on defense. I just talked about how the offense took their foot off the pedal. It didn't work for him in the second half. When there was 52 seconds left in that game, I looked over at a buddy of mine, Leif Thomas, and I said, this 52 seconds will show us who's going to win the game. I said, if Atlanta comes out and they're aggressive, they don't have to score, they don't have to win here, but if they come out, they can get some yardage. If they show that they're aggressive, if they can execute, they have a chance. If they don't, it doesn't matter who gets the ball in overtime. New England's going to win this game. They came out kind of, looked to see if there'd be a shot, but they weren't aggressive. They didn't try and win it in that 52 seconds that was left. And sure enough, like I said, it went down. They didn't have it anymore. They had been defeated. As soon as that score tied, the Falcons were defeated. They couldn't believe it. They weren't coming back from it. It didn't matter what you yelled on the sideline, what rah-rah anything that was going to happen. They weren't ready for that possibility. They had started to already think in their minds, in the back of their heads, we're going to win the Super Bowl. You've seen the videos of the fans and all the other people who had decided it was over, who had decided the Falcons won, and then, oh, no, they didn't. Couldn't believe it. And people want to point to bad calls. Yeah, there was bad calls. There was bad calls for both teams. That infuriated me throughout the game. No, James White was not down before the ball crossed the goal line. I saw so many haters this week talking about, oh, the ball didn't cross the goal line, the ball's got to cross. No, the ball has to, the tip of the ball, okay? Just the tip of the ball has to touch the very edge of the line. It's a minuscule thing that has to happen. And people are circling the ball in a freeze frame of the replay and going, look, it's not crossed. Well, you can see the fat part of the ball. Fat part of the ball is about maybe 3 inches from the goal line. So that means by the tip of the ball, you're touching the goal line. Now, you can't see it. It's not conclusive. They reviewed it. That's how the call was on the field. You have to have conclusive evidence to overturn it. And because of that, the play stands. Now, you have to believe or think, just based on how that game ended and how it went, that it didn't matter if they got it on that play. The next play, they were going to get it. It was a great game. The Falcons had a great performance. It's shocking to see that the Falcons have kind of blown up everything they had going right after the game. Defensive coordinator's out. Kyle Shanahan's officially off to San Francisco. Reshuffle the coaching staff. Bring in Steve Sarkisian from Alabama to run the offense. Marquand Manuel, former Lion, moving up to run the defense. So it'll be interesting to see if Atlanta can bounce back next year, or if this is going to be something that now hurts them moving forward. I predict they don't make the playoffs next year. I think with all the coaching shuffles, the loss of Shanahan, I don't think Steve Sarkisian in his first year in the NFL is going to be a dominant offensive play caller. I think they'll have a good season, but I think it will be a setback season. I don't think they win the division next year. That's the history of that division. If you win it, you don't win it the next year. I don't believe they've had consecutive winners in that division in the last 5 or 6 seasons. Maybe going back longer than that. So no, I don't think it was the greatest game. It was a really good game. There was a lot of great aspects to it. There was a lot of bad aspects. There was a lot of missed calls. There was a lot of missed plays, missed opportunities for sure. Guys like Joe Montana coming out this week because of the debate, is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback? What do you guys think? Does this win make Tom Brady the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL? Now, I've talked about this before. I don't like comparing eras. Joe Montana has come out this week and said you really can't compare guys from different eras. We've talked about it on the show before. You can't. The rules are so different. This is a league now that is built for offense. The rules are set for the offense. You can't hit guys anymore. You can't hit them low. You can't hit them too high. You can't hit them too hard. The rules are set to make the offense successful. If Joe Montana got to play in today's rules, who knows what could have happened? If Tom Brady had to play under the rules Joe Montana played under, or Bart Starr played under, or Otto Graham played under, who knows what Tom Brady would be as a quarterback? That's why you can't say the greatest ever. He is easily one of the best, or maybe one of the greatest in his era. That's debatable between him now and Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, all of the regular season success, all of the on-field offensive play calling, revolutionized the position, some would say, in that aspect. But he had regular season success. And the biggest thing you always hear is that it comes down to championships. Oh, championships decide how great you are. Well, if that's true, in this era, Tom Brady is the greatest. This era. Not of all time. No way of all time. If I had to make an all-time list, okay, and pick my favorite guy from each era, or the guy I think was the best from each era, and then take them and rank them, he wouldn't be the top guy. I